Joining me now with reaction is Iraq War veteran and Republican Pennsylvania Representative Guy Reschenthaler to react to a lot of this stuff here. Congressman, thank you, by the way, for spending Labor Day with us. We appreciate it.
Sean, happy Labor Day, but please just call me Guy.
You always tell me that. Then I get in trouble at work because they say I need to be more professional with you.
I insist, please.
All right, Guy, talk to me about this stuff. Critical race theory reports the possibility that the administration is looking into that, looking into the 1619 project. Where do you stand on all of that?
Well, let's just break them down one at a time. The 1619 project, Nicole Hannah-Jones, the founder of this project, has even admitted that this isn't an academic exercise. It's actually an exercise to change the framework of United States history. It's a project of journalism. It's a project of activism, not an historical project. And the fact that this is being pushed to teach young children, K through 12, that the country was not founded in 1776, but in 1619, it is a way to shift the conversation away from making America look good. It is anti-Americanism. But I can tell you this didn't just start with the 1619 project. I'm a millennial. We grew up on the Howard Zinn viewpoints of U.S. history, where we were taught the United States was bad, we're the problem in the world. And that has led to this blame America first crowd. This has led to protesters in places like Seattle and Portland and Chicago chanting death to America as if they're members of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. So this is nothing new. And with critical race theory, teaching that we have that all our institutions are racist institutions, that is designed specifically to discredit American institutions. It's designed so Americans lose faith in what brings us together. And the problem is that these projects focus on what divides us. It pits Americans against each other, and it's really targeted at dismantling America as we know it.
Well, the president has said that he's going to look into this, and it's being garnered on a national level as far as the attention goes at this point, because a lot of people are waking up this weekend saying, what is this 1619 project, critical race theory? A lot of people now more informed. Talking about the president...
Sean, can I just jump in? I'm glad that people are now waking up to this nonsense, because I can tell you that as a millennial, somebody who graduated high school in 2001, this kind of reasoning is nothing new. And this is the reason why you have so many millennials, so many members of Gen Z out there thinking that America is wrong, America is a problem in the world, again, chanting death to America in the streets of U.S. cities. So I'm so glad that somebody has brought attention to this, and we can refocus and reshift. And I again need to say that there's a difference between teaching this garbage at our colleges and universities, where you're actually paying for some liberal college professor to spew this nonsense. That's one thing. That's you being taken advantage of. It's another thing to teach this K through 12, where people have to send their children into the classroom, or else it's literally a crime to get indoctrinated with the 1619 project. That's where I draw the line, and thankfully somebody's putting an end to it.
No, it certainly has got a lot of attention, as you said. Another thing that got a lot of attention is this backlash from critics over a recent article from The Atlantic claiming the president made disparaging remarks about fallen American soldiers, calling them suckers and losers. Now, I'm going to play this ad from the Trump administration, and I want to get your reactions after that.
The dignity, daring, and devotion of the American military is unrivaled anywhere in history and any place in the world. As our brave warriors have shown us from the nation's earliest days, in America we are the captains of our own fate. No obstacle, no challenge, and no threat is a match for the sheer determination of the American people. From generation to generation, heroes like these have poured out their blood and sweat and heart and tears for our country. Because of them, America is strong and safe and mighty and free. For as long as our flag flies in the sky above, the names of these fallen warriors will be woven into its threads. For as long as we have citizens willing to follow their example, to carry on their burden, to continue their legacy, then America's cause will never fail, and American freedom will never, ever die.
By the way, there is no shortage of B-roll to produce that clip that lasted more than a minute. It's important for me to get your understanding and your thought on this as being a veteran yourself. What you thought when you saw this, what went through your mind? Share that with me.
Well, as a veteran and as somebody who has spent a lot of time with this president, I can tell you that what you saw in that footage is the real President Donald Trump. That's how he believes, and that's the real President Trump. What you're seeing portrayed by The Atlantic is absolute nonsense. That story was based on two or three sources that refused to go on the record. The witnesses that will go on the record, Sarah Huckabee Sanders and John Bolton, both say the same thing, that these comments were never said. And John Bolton is not a fan of this president. So as a lawyer, I would call him a hostile witness, and he's there corroborating the story of Sarah Huckabee Sanders and the president, which leads me to believe that these comments were not said. The other thing that's interesting to note is that The Atlantic and the liberal news media broke this story on a news cycle during a week where President Trump was absolutely on fire. We had a peace deal that was brokered between Serbia and Kosovo. Kosovo, a Muslim-majority nation, recognized the state of Israel just like the United Arab Emirates recognized the state of Israel. We had incredible job numbers. Unemployment rates have fallen to single digits after this virus that the Chinese Communist Party allowed to spread all over. So the president and vice president were having a phenomenal news week, and the liberal media had to reach and grasp for this uncorroborated, shady story, to put it as most favorable as I can to the mainstream media, which is not rooted in any kind of evidence. So I think it's very suspect.
John Bolton, yeah, specifically the one you referenced to, he said if I would have seen this, I would have put it as a chapter in my book.
Exactly.
That didn't happen. He's clearly not a fan of the president. So I know he's going to get questions about that. He's got a press conference later today at 1 p.m. I'm interested to hear what he's got to say. I'm going to end on this because it is a holiday. You got quite the shout-out from President Trump during his speech in Pennsylvania last week. Watch this.
Guy Reschenthaler. What are you doing over there? What happened? You don't get along with these guys, huh? Oh, okay. That's good. Now I understand. That's good.
Just a candid moment with you guys. What was he talking about there?
So I gave up a seat so that my colleague Fred Keller could bring his granddaughter to sit with him with the other congressmen, and I sat with my girlfriend. So when the president called me out and said, "Why are you over there?" I pointed at my girlfriend, and that's why we had that chuckle. But that, of course, wasn't seen. That wasn't seen on camera. But I have a really good relationship with the president. The fact that he rolled with it like that and we had some humor just goes to show how good this president is and how friendly he is to us.
You're giving up your seat. I always say you're the most polite congressman I think I've ever seen. Congressman Guy Reschenthaler, Pennsylvania. Always a pleasure. Guy, good to see you. Happy Labor Day to you. You got it.
You too. Take care.
All right.